Hey, good to have you here. We're gonna get into some code. My name is Mr. Foreman, Josh Foreman. Here we're coming at you with some information about React. This is a continuation from our last video where we were talking about like an introduction to like the React pipeline, like how it's connected to a website in the HTML, and then how to build out a component. We're going to be jumping into that very same site here and getting into how we could have multiple components as multiple pages in like a router. So you could have like a home page that you can go to, an about page, and a menu page, etc. Let's get into it. To follow along, and I highly advise that you do, you can start off with this code sandbox template that we got here, and I'll create a link to the final product at the end of all this as well. But definitely like typing along can really like help or get into the muscle memory and whatnot. But here in our React Evernote, you can click on this link to get into this here, our React app within Code Sandbox. So this is built out from that and continuation from that on the last video. So here we are, we're in app protocol, and in app we have our home page component that we imported, and this home page component has all the information, the HTML per home page. Now, as we all know, like boom, a lot of pages have more than just a home page. So how the heck are we going to do that and make something like that? That's what we're getting into right here. So let's jump into it. Let's first, what we're going to want to do is create something called a router, so that we can have multiple routes or pages that we can switch to. So we're going to need something called a router. Boom. And notice when I do that and auto fill that grabs a router from the React router DOM. And actually that's going to be the browser router as router. Boom. And that's going to need a closer here. Yeah. And we're also going to need in order to use this, like, so what's going on here, we grabbed this special tool called browser router within the React router DOM library. It's got this special function that allows us to do routes, and so we're going to use that, but instead of writing browser router, we want to use it as router. So you can write that like this, syntax like this: browser router is router. We'll also need to wrap everything in a switch router, which is just telling React what kind of router we want, because there are different types of routers. We need to get into all the nitty-gritties of that, but we want a switch router. So we're going to put all of our routes inside of there, and they're wrapped in with certain properties with something called a route. And so for each one, we'll have a special route, and notice that, boom, it auto imported it here. So we have the three things: we got a router, we got a route, and we got a switch, all being imported from this React router down up top here. Great. And we're getting an error right now because we need to close this route. So we're making a special route for our home page. And because the home page is going to be kind of where we want our default page to be, like when they go to just our website. We're going to give it, and we can be exact about this, give it our path, exactly what path we want to connect to the component or components within this route. So we want homepage to be found at just the root. Like when you go to the URL here, when it's just a /, boom, we want the homepage to be found. And you can see that if you do this like in a pop out, boom, and we look at this in the URL here, looking at where it's at, we got this / right at the end. This is just the root directory. This is going to be our home page. And it might become clear when we put in our second route. Oh, another little thing we're going to want in here is the word exact, and we can talk about why we want that in a second. It'll become a bit more clear. So if you can imagine, we've got boom, everything wrapped in what is a switch router. It opens and it closes right there, and we can create different routes. Here's a homepage route. Let's make another route. Let's make a route for, I don't know, the about page. Yeah, or maybe we'll make the menu. Let's do the menu page. All right. So we're going to copy and paste this route, and let's say that the path we want it to go to for this route, we want it to be / menu. Okay. So when you go to / menu on our website, then we want it to do the following components. We want it to show the menu, which will be great. We haven't made that yet, but we can do that right now. That's what this error is about, so it's not defined. So we haven't made it yet. So let's do that as a little review on how to make that component. So menu, we're going to need to import, and so I'm just going to copy and paste that upper page, and then I'm going to import menu from / pages, and then we'll create something called menu.js, and that's where menu will be located. So in this path / menu, it's going to make this component happen, menu, which we're getting from our file path. From here it goes into the pages, and then we're going to need to create that here, so let's do that right now. Menu.js, boom. So menu.js is going to be a React component, so we're going to start off, we can import React from the React library, so we're using React, and then we're going to make a constant called menu. Going to make something called menu that is the arrow function that takes in no information right now, but it does the following. It gets to do a cool arrow and the brackets, and so menu is defined as the following. You can do some stuff, but what we're concerned with here is the return, what it gives back when you're like, hey, make menu. This is what menu is going to return to you, and it's going to return everything has to be wrapped just in one something. We'll make it a div, and then we're going to create our menu. So here, let's just create like an H1, and this will be like menu. Great. We'll say our fantastic menu. Great. So, saving everything, making sure it's all saved here. Now we're missing one more element, right? We've constructed that that new component called menu, and so we made it and got our return, and we also need to, of course, export default menu to like send it out into the world, into our program, so that app can pick it up as one of its routes. So let's check this and see what's going on. So if you go to /menu, then it should make menu happen. Let's go to our pop out here. I think I got it right here. Let me refresh it. And so if we go up to the URL and go /menu now and press enter. Let's see if we get our menu. Hey, this is our fantastic menu. Great, that's awesome. That means that our routes are working, that this / goes there. Now, of course, we don't want our users to actually be, typing into the URL up into like this box and typing stuff in. Like, that's not, we'll create links and whatnot in the future. But definitely right now it seems that our paths are working. Where's our time at? Okay, we'll make one more follow-up video after this where I want to talk a little bit about styling out some of these components, and we'll also talk about links. But for now, this is how routes are done. We'll do one more quick example here. So if I wanted a route to an about page, I would create the route with a path about, and we want this exact. Again, we want that. We want it exact because if it's not, then you could get some false positives. Like, if / was not exact here, it would catch anything that was /. So if you tried to go to /menu, it wouldn't get there because / would be like, hey, I saw / and it would land it. If you put in exact, that says, hey, this URL has to be exactly / in order to make this page, and if it's not, then go on to the next, check out this next route's path. So that's why we need that exact. So right, we want to create an about component. No problem. Let's do it. We know we're going to need to import it, so I'll just create this, and we're going to do about, and this is going to be my about page. And PS, the way I kind of like to organize these imports, they don't have to be, it's like the things I didn't make separated by one line with the things that I did make. So all my components and the things that I made, and these are the things that come from somewhere else. So about, boom, about is going to be imported from the about.js. Well, that'll be great once I actually create that. We say it's here in the pages folder. It should be called about.js. That's what it's going to be looking for. So let's make it true. We make it about.js. We're going to need to import React. We're going to create a constant called about, which is the anonymous arrow function that looks like the following. It's got some stuff, but most importantly, it has the return, and for our purposes, the return, and it's going to all be held within one div, and it's gonna have something like this that says all about the store. All be completed. And then of course at the bottom, so we got this, and that needs more content, obviously, whatever. But we're going to export the default about. And so that's sent out into the world, into our apps to be found by others. We save everything, Brilliant. And so I don't know about this, like in sometimes the code, this sandbox, sometimes this in app browser acts a little weird. So let's go back to the main one, pop out. I'm going to refresh it, and it should take us, let's refresh in the menu page, sure. And so if we go to the just root directory, it should show our home page. Great. And if we go to / about, we set the, let me check one thing. Yeah, we set it as about. I press enter, and all about the store. Wonderful. Our routes are working, and so that's how we make components and routes. Thank you so much for joining us here. Hope that was succinct enough and to the point. We're at like 16 minutes. You can watch these videos on fast forward too if I talk slow or whatever, bobble through things. But hey, boom. Happy having you here. Hope you have a fantastic time coding. We're going to jump into a few more things, details and whatnot in the about the router and some styling stuff in the next video. Okay, happy coding.